Welcome back as we come to you from Signature Air Support here in Windsor Locks. We've just received a correction. It's amazing what we learned during the breaks. It was Jeremy Lamb, who was the last UConn freshman who had 20 points in 3 straight games. Jeremy Lamb, Richard Hamilton, that's still pretty good company.
Yeah, Book's in great company. We just got to keep recruiting more guys like Book.
And that's why we're doing this from here. Recruiting during the season, how much time each day do you and the assistants spend recruiting, contacting kids when you can? What's like your time frame on that?
Every day we talk about it, meet about it. Obviously this is it's a big late signing period for us. It's really important, going into year 3 and going into the Big East and having our full allotment of scholarships, getting back to 13 and really feeling like you have a full roster and a roster, that has everything that you need across the board, the depth, and it looks completely like your team. So we spend a lot of time on it. Obviously, class of 2021 and 22 are critical to, just getting UConn back to the level that it was at, and obviously, Coach Calhoun, one of the great coaches of all time, but also too, you got to recruit the level of players that, were like the guys that played for Coach too.
At the day that the Big East announcement was made, you were asked how it would impact your recruiting, and you said it's a brand name. UConn's a brand name. You don't need a lot of help in that department. Having said that, how has the return to the Big East helped?
It helps a lot. The class with Cook, James, and Jalen, with Richie Springs and R.J. Cole,
right.
That 5-man class was kind of, we got those guys off the excitement of the new hire. I just got hired at UConn. There's a wave of excitement with any new coach coming into a place, and that was kind of the angle with that class. But with that next class, the conference was becoming a little bit of an issue relative to the people that we were recruiting against, and going to the Big East played a huge part in us getting Andrea and Javante, 2 guys that are high-level talents that will come in and really infuse the program. So, not only from a competitive standpoint in terms of travel and familiarity, from a recruiting standpoint, it's going to be a big deal.
Now, you mentioned Coach Calhoun in his time at UConn, which when I did most of his games, he would create words. Last Sunday, you created a word referring to your senior guard when you said Christian Vital'd you a little bit. He's coming to the end of his career.
Yeah.
How will we remember Christian Vital?
Just I think a warrior type. Really, he's one of the most competitive, most determined, strongest-willed players I've ever coached, and kind of with everything that has gone on around him, the transition, from one coach to the next coach, the program, reaching a low point and now on the climb back up, he's just kind of been locked in, and it's been amazing to watch that he has not been disrupted, and he's kept his single-minded focus all the way.
Sunday's Memphis at the XL Center. You probably feel like you owe them one from the game at the FedEx Forum, another of those single-digit losses. The building is close, as we tape this on Thursday, to being sold out. We know what the environment's like at the XL Center when it's loud and people are into the game. What's the biggest thing you have to do different against the Tigers this time around?
We got to take better care of the basketball. Shot selection's got to be better. They're one of the best shot blocking teams in the country. We can't drive the ball to the basket and shoot wild shots. We got to move the ball, and we got to make shots. And we've done a much better job of that recently in terms of our 3-point shooting. And coming off such a bad defensive effort against SMU, we got to get back and show that gritty, tough defensive mindset.
Everybody tries to peak at the right time, but it seems like your team is playing its best basketball of the season as you head towards the end of the year, March, the conference tournament, and maybe something beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I just think we're getting better. We got a number of young players that are starting to understand what it takes to be successful and play well. We're a year further into understanding how I want these guys to play. It's kind of it'd be big for us right now to kind of get a Cook, a second wind here. He's a guy that's kind of hit that freshman wall because we've asked him for so much from game one. We got to find a way to kind of get that guy refreshed and recharged so that we could finish strong, because we're not going to get as many wins as we'd like without that young man.
All right, last question. It's Valentine's Day as this is being aired. Did you take care of the present for Andrea before you went away?
We have an agreement.
You have a lot of agreements with her. We talked Christmas time.
Yeah, she gets it. She knows the deal. She signed on for this coach's wife's life. Andrea, I love you. She knows what she's getting. We made a deal, so it's a no pressure situation.
Perfect.
And then my son Andrew plays on Friday night.
Right.
So that eliminates the need
Dinner
to
and
make
stuff.
dinner
Yeah,
reservations.
exactly.
So we'll get some takeout.
Well played. Go see the Eagles.
Yes.
Go see the East Catholic Eagles.
Yes.
All right. Hey, this has been fun. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
All right. It's UConn head coach Dan Hurley. For everybody at Fox 61, I'm Jody Ambrosio. Thanks for watching.